Now, for the early totes for Flemington Race 7, let's go back to Kenny Callender. Ken.
Yeah, thanks very much, Bear. The early totes on the second leg in Melbourne, this is at Flemington, and the Sydney race will follow very shortly after. In Melbourne, Hula Warrior is a scratching, Premier Copper at 10-1, Shortcut at 12s, Lord Chickton at 9, 9-1 Snow Lord, 11-2 Send Tip, Durham Rivers at 16-1. I'm going to back Silver Neon, D. Nikolic at 6.5-1. Mr. Elegant is exactly the same price, 13-2. Superior Sam is a scratching, 25-1 the next three. Wilga Dash, Red Hope and Laronti. On the wagon, I'm not on that yet, at 16-1. Prince of Paradise is a scratching, Jimmy Cagney's at 10-1. McAsh at 30-1. Leeway at 20-1. Stolen Days at 80-1. And Sister Impertinent isn't here. 6.5-1 Silver Neon, I hope, Bear.
OK, keep your fingers crossed for you, Ken. We've got some more numbers for you to digest.
Penny down the straight, a mad scramble. There's been 4 scratchings, but still 16 to run on the slow track at Flemington. Number 1, Hula Warrior, is one of those scratchings. Premier Copper is at 8-1. Shortcut at 10. Lord Chickton, Harry White's mount at 9-1. Probably no one in this field's been down the straight as many times as Harry. Snow Lord at 10-1. Send Tip, Peter Mertens at 6-1. Durham Rivers is a 20-1 chance. My Tip Silver Neon is at 7-1 now, just out of fraction. Mr. Elegant at 6-1. Superior Sam is a scratching, 25-1 Wilga Dash and Red Hope. Laronti is out to 30, on the wagon at 16. Prince of Paradise is scratched. Cagney at 11-1. McCash at 33. Leeway at 25. And Stolen Days at 100-1. Sister Pertinent, or Sister Impertinent, was the final scratching. OK, they're behind the barrier there down the straight at Flemington, but really there's only a couple still arriving at the start, so it's going to be a minute or two before they all get in. But they're seasoned campaigners, and once they start to go in, well, it'll be pretty quick. I'm just watching these horses at Randwick, incidentally, walk round for the race after this, the second leg of the double at Randwick, and by gee, a couple of them look fit. Semi-Armu looks a picture, and so does the Carreras, TAB number 8. But anyway, first things first, let's get back to Flemington. They're behind the barrier there, all 16 of them, but I wish these boys would hurry up and start to call them in. It's past post time, or right on post time of 3:45, 3:45, and really they should be on their way. Looks like there's some action there now. As I said, there's no turns in this race. They go straight down the running. No bends. Some will go to the outside and some to the inside fences, and it's 1,200 metres. It's called the Lawn Handicap. The horse I've tipped, TAB number 8, Silver Neon, is a chestnut horse. You'll find he'll get back in the field a little bit. He races in red and green quarters with yellow armbands and a yellow cap. He'll storm home, and young Nikolic, I think, will take him towards the outside rail. Another horse very much in contention is Mr. Elegant, TAB number 9. He races in all maroon colours, trained by Barry Barnes down at Cranbourne. Silver Neon is also trained just out of Melbourne by Gary Carson at Mornington. Don't forget, red and green quarters with yellow armbands and a yellow cap. I hope they become pretty prominent. OK, they're just about all in. One more to go. Time for us to go to Melbourne, to Flemington, to our caller, John Russell.
Send Tip. Here's the last one. Stolen Days going in, so they're all set to go. A Lawn Handicap, Shortcut, the inside runner. Welcome viewers to Wide World of Sports. They're off and running now. Shortcut on the inside, the first out with Snow Lord. McCash got out pretty well, and going fast just in behind them. Then over on the outside is On the Wagon, and they're all heading towards the flat section of the track now, where Snow Lord has assumed control, and Snow Lord is the leader. About a length and a half On the Wagon, going fast along the inside. Durham Rivers in the leading group with Red Hope just behind them, and Send Tip. Shortcut is back along the inside, Mr. Elegant, and they're followed closely then. Over on the outside, making up good ground, is Laronti, followed by Stolen Days, and Silver Neon is a long way back, and they were being followed well back in the field there. Just in behind them over on the inside would be Wilga Dash. Now they're racing onto the course proper. Snow Lord is joined by Durham Rivers, a length and a half McCash, and running on pretty well. Then is On the Wagon. Shortcut nowhere to go. Red Hope behind them. Then Premier Copper a bit further back. Mr. Elegant is starting to come home pretty well on the outside. Laronti is back behind them, and they're followed by Leeway and Cagney from a long way back, and Silver Neon is down the outside. Red Hope has raced up on the outside to take the lead. Mr. Elegant coming after it in the final stages. Red Hope is in charge now from Shortcut, getting a run through on the inside. Mr. Elegant deeper on the track. Red Hope is the leader. Shortcut is finishing fast. Mr. Elegant Centip, but Red Hope is hanging on. Red Hope will win it. Red Hope from Shortcut second. Mr. Elegant third. Then Centip, and they were followed next home further back there by Cagney and Premier Copper, and further away on the wagon Durham Rivers, followed next home by Silver Neon from Leeway and Laronti, Snow Lord McCash, then Lord Chickton well back with Wilgadash, and the last to finish is Stolen Days.
Here we go!
Flemington 12, 3 and 9. Red Hope $23 even and $6.50. Shortcut $2.90. Mr. Elegant $2.30. AFL, 4 games in progress. Let's check.
We're coming into race 7 at Randwick, a very big field, and that's Semi-Amu, the horse you can see there now. One of the gatemen just grabbing hold of an ear, which has a pacifying effect on horses, believe it or not, whilst he makes a bridle adjustment. Ken, I don't know if grabbing an ear would have a pacifying effect on me. Now what about this horse Carreras, Ken? He's had 1 start only, ran a terrific first-up race at Warwick Farm, but that was a midweek race. He's not jumping too quickly to Saturday class, is he?
That could be the problem, John. I've backed him, but I'm just a little bit worried whether it's only second start in the race, whether he's jumping up too quick or too fast. I hope he's not. I hope he's too fast for them. Number 1, Red Machine, is getting out a little bit in the market, out to 5-2 now. On the other hand, this is a horse they've all backed. All the big punters are into Semi-Amu, and I must say he looks a treat. Sid Star, incidentally, was scratched. Defensive play is at 11-1. 5 and 6 Colt Figure and Against Time are both scratched. 91 is at 12-1 now, in from 14s. Carreras about $5.60, just better than 9-2. 20 Hacker, 25 Danzea. So Striking is scratched. Crackhorn is into 15-1. Stormer is at 30-1. Number 14 Danny Joe is out. 80 Shamrock Guest, 100 Lady Brockway, 200 Kapal, Stage Hero at 50-1. I'll just have a double check. Yeah, still at 2-1 Semi-Amu. There he is. By gee, looks a treat. Looks an absolute treat. Might firm a little bit more yet. You might be lucky to get 2-1 if he wins. I'm on Carreras. Perhaps I should run out and just save me money on Semi-Amu. To call the action, the one and only Johnny Tapp.
Good on you, Ken. I see Lady Brockway just moving into the stalls. Lady Brockway is ridden by Malcolm Fitzgerald, who has just recently made a comeback to race riding after the horrors of a very insidious illness encephalitis. He was out for some 8 or 9 months, but his comeback has been remarkable. Now, right at the moment, we're doing a story on his wonderful comeback, and you'll be seeing that on the 9 network in the very near future. He has a ride in this race on an unfancied runner called Lady Brockway. Now, defensive play goes up into line. Kevin Moses on the ground there behind the gates, waiting to remount Semi-Amu. And here's Ken Russell coming up on Stormer. Big horse Stormer. Ken Russell was out of action for a few weeks. He broke a small bone in 1 foot during the Brisbane Carnival. Not a serious injury, but just a niggling one that kept him out of the saddle for 2 or 3 weeks. So he put the time to good use by visiting his hometown of Monto in Queensland, where he owns property, and he just spent a couple of weeks around the cattle. Now, Copal goes up with Carreras. Looks like Stormer. And Semi-Amu still out. This horse pulled a plate, Semi-Amu, and there's the farrier in attendance now, making that adjustment to the near 4. Semi-Amu, having loosened a plate on the way to the barrier. That's just about rectified, and Kevin Moses standing up on the side of the gate waiting to remount. The others look good. Well, Red Machine is the one to beat, no doubt about it. He's got the best record of anything in the race. He's won 5 metropolitan races so far, and he looks just magnificent. He's got that Jack Denham polish about him, and even though he's got plenty of weight, his record entitles him to that weight, but he loves the track, loves the distance, and he's already the winner on a rain-affected track, much heavier than this one, in fact. So the dead track is of little consequence. Again, I think a tribute is in order to, I think, Australia's best wet weather race course and one of the best in the world, Royal Randwick. After 56 millimetres of rain, it was still raining midway through yesterday morning, and yet they posted track slow this morning and amended it to dead after the running of, I think, 2 or 3 races. There's a close-up of the farrier, just clinching up the near 4 plate of Semi-Amu, and the horse will not cooperate. Now, anybody who's concerned about the fact that these attendants have got hold of the horse's ears, please, for one moment, don't think that's cruel, horse lovers, because it's not. It has a pacifying effect. Believe me, you can see that the horse has calmed down considerably. I know it seems an unorthodox method by which to achieve a pacifying effect, but in the case of these animals, it does work. I mean, how pacified can you get? As Semi says, let go of my ears and I'll be a good boy. Semi Amu wants to back away. He's one of the fancied runners in the race and is carrying a lot of public money. Horses sometimes on their way to the barrier can just tread on one front foot with the other. They can just crisscross or overstep, and if they just happen to catch the edge of the shoe, they can loosen it. Sometimes they can spring it completely, but 9 times out of 10 they just succeed in loosening 1 or 2 of the nails, and that's probably what happened here. You can understand why these horses get a little stirred up so close to the race. I mean, they're well aware that they've got a job ahead of them. They suffer race nerves just as much as jockeys, owners and trainers do, some worse than others. But Ken, he might be a bit of a problem for the farrier, this bloke, at the best of times, I think.
Yes, John, and I'll tell you something else. He hasn't got a great record in the barrier. If you remember, he's mucked up and missed the start a few times. I hope that doesn't get him too stirred up for those who have backed him today.
Yep, well, we'll soon see. He's coming forward now, Ken.
Yeah, he's going to go in, and let's hope he jumps on terms with him. He's got the right bloke in the saddle to make him do it, Kevin Moses.
I suppose the unfair part of these delays is the fact that all of the others have got to stand flat-footed for so long.
Definitely. Anyway, they're just about ready now.
OK, Ken. Now, starter Bill Cooper coming over to release the field, and they're all set and ready for action. Stage Hero, the inside runner, 91, and Hacker face up squarely. So does Copal and Shamrock Guest, and they look pretty good now. Ready for a start. Off and running, and a good start. Semi Amu missed it just slightly, but he's going to poke through quickly into a prominent spot. Stage Hero bounded out in front at the start. Shamrock Guest began well. Semi Amu in a twinkling has gone through to be running third, followed by Red Machine on the outside of Stormer. Lady Brockway in a forward spot at the head of the others. Crack Corn, followed by Dan's Air, trapped out deep as Hacker, and then Defensive Play, followed further back by 91. Carreras getting a mile back to be second last, and Copal last of all. In the run to the first turn, and the leader Stage Hero wants to over race in front, led by 2.5 to Shamrock Guest. A neck away Red Machine getting in to be one off the rail, then Semi Amu, followed by Hacker and Lady Brockway. Crack Corn at the head of the others came Stormer, further back Defensive Play travelling wide but starting to go forward, followed by 91, and then Dan's Air. Second last Copal on the outside, and Carreras on the fence has dropped out last as they come down towards the 700 metres mark. Stage Hero the leader, Semi Amu getting to second, Shamrock Guest is third, followed by Red Machine on the outside. A length and a half to Defensive Play, followed by Hacker, Lady Brockway. Further back is Stormer, and then Crack Corn. A gap in the field to 91, followed by Dan's Air. And the last couple of Copal and Carreras as absolute last as they turn for home. Coming over the rise, and the leader, Stage Hero, with Semi Amu on the outside, and his Red Machine letting loose now, coming at them very quickly. The top weight Red Machine has raced up the tackle Semi Amu, and they're fighting it out. Semi Amu just in front. Red Machine under the big weight is trying desperately to pick him up. Semi Amu is just the leader. Red Machine having a crack at him. Semi Amu, Red Machine is lunging. They hit the line, locked together. Semi Amu wins it by inches to Red Machine, and getting up to run third is 91, followed by Stormer, Defensive Play, Lady Brockway, and then Hacker, Dan's Air, Carreras, followed by Crack Corn. Well back Stage Hero and Copal, and Shamrock Guest is weakened to run last.
Game week 3, 1 and 7. The numbers: Semi Amu 310, 160. Red Machine $1.70. 91 paid $3.60. In the AFL, 4 games in progress. Let's see how things are going. It's Melbourne and Geelong neck and neck. Melbourne in front by 2. Hawthorn and Fitzroy, and this one Hawthorn leads 71 to 53. Carlton and Brisbane, and it's Carlton in front after trailing at 3/4 time. It's 88 to 71 in favour of the Blues. Collingwood against Sydney, and Collingwood going further and further in front, 123 to 61. Australians Phil Anderson and Neil Stevens